Welcome to another episode of the thing where I find disappointing games and fancy fix them. Milking franchises is fun, isn't it? Like seriously, how many Avengers movies have there been? How much clothing has been sold? How many toys have been made? How much revenue has been made? But a while ago, the cash cow finally ran dry, if only prematurely. Marvel's Avengers reportedly resulted in $63 million of loss for Square Enix. Like, how'd this happen? It's almost as if cutting corners and repeating plots and ideas is a bad way of marketing. This next quote is taken straight from Wikipedia. Marvel Avengers is a third-person action-adventure game that combines an original cinematic story with single-player and cooperative gameplay. Nonsense! Incomprehensible gibberish. They took some of the most interesting and complex characters in the history of media and made them boring. Like, everyone deserves a round of applause. But before we sink into the rotting carcass that is this game, we have to address the good points. I kinda like the music, and you're gonna have fun with this game if A, you've never played another video game in your life, or B, as Jim Sterling put it, if you pick it up once every 1 to 3 months when a new character comes out, play it once, then put it back in the box and forget about it, it's alright. And yeah, I agree with that. However, a much better idea would be to take the game out of the console once a month and stick it up your willy hole and go play an indie game to actually support the gaming industry. And that's the last positive thing I'm going to say about this game. I have never seen a more corporate game in my life. I imagine this game was made not in a room full of imagination, passion and planning, but on a conveyor belt, the same place that McDonald's would make their cheap plastic toys. Just, that will do. Everything was just that will do. 90% of the characters I got tired with after the first obscenely long cutscene. The graphics look severely outdated on the characters, fabric spazzes out whenever it's lightly touched, even going through my character's head at one point. There's way too much text to pop in. Some would be acceptable if the game was half like the Alex, Forza Horizon 3 or Resident Evil 3, but these graphics look like they're a good 3 years out of date. And they're taking assets from other games, which is fine if you're a single game developer and you're making a big project, but this is a massive company. You couldn't be bothered to make your own assets? And why did every superhero game take place in a city? Look at Asura's Wrath. You're an anti-hero killing gods with awesome powers, and you're never in a city, at least from what I've seen. Also, the camera is slow. You don't notice it at first, but it gets very annoying. And the hero's AI sucks a willy. It reminds me of Natalia in GoldenEye 64. Okay, maybe not that bad, but still, it's 2020, mate. They're just standing there, like the hero's AI, they're just standing there like that kid who told his parents over and over again he doesn't want to do any clubs and just wants to stay home and play his stupid video games, but he gets shoved on the football field in the defending position and has no idea what he's doing and he just wants to go home. Wow, this is taking long, isn't it? Why don't we sum up with a quick lightning round? The running animations look slightly odd, the voice acting is bland, especially Captain America. All of the NPCs, companions and enemies never shut up, which is getting annoying. The UI gets in the way of during gameplay and it's impossible to miss. But the biggest problem, by a mile, is the fact that this game is boring. Like, incredibly dull. And the loot boxes are so blatant it just completely ruins game progression. And the fact that Spider-Man literally just recently set a new margin for superhero video games, this comes along and sets the series back a good 5 years. It is a huge disappointment. So, how would I have made it? Basically, this game needs less corporate. It is so generic. We want new characters. The Marvel universe is not small, and what of this generic story? Superheroes have been outlawed while a science-based corporation takes the Avengers' place in society. I know multiple movies, TV shows that have 90% the exact same plot. It's boring. This game needs more innovation, more imagination, more juice in the special moves, cool new ideas, have it take place somewhere different than a city. And why are you using assets in this game? You sunk millions into making this. Why are you using assets? It's Polish o'clock, mother lovers.
It's here because it would get boring for me to keep saying this game needs more polish, so I'm going to jazz it up instead by having a catchphrase. Instead of having this awful optimization, having Jeremy Clarkson smear the camera in Vaseline in a vain attempt to stop people seeing how ugly this game is, just put it on the bloody back burner. Avengers Part 220 won't be out until 2021, so what was the rush? Anyways, that's all for today. Before you leave, I have an announcement. I'm making my very first movie-related YouTube video next week, or the week after, and releasing it on Christmas. Hopefully, where I will detail why Die Hard is a lot better than most action movies. Yes, action movies, not Christmas movies.